Hi, good morning. Welcome to my Saturday videos. And this month we'll be sharing something very interesting. And we'll be looking at learning never stops. Learning never stops. We'll be running that series for all the Saturdays of this month by the grace of God. And today's episode is titled Learning Never Stops Part 1, Women in Leadership Achieving an Equal Future in the COVID-19 world. And this episode and that of next Saturday is dedicated to celebrating International Women's Day. And we all know that women are integral part of our lives. And that's why 8th of March every year has been dedicated to celebrate the International Women. And like I tell people, I love women. I do. My mother is a woman. I have 4 biological sisters. My wife is a woman. My first child is a woman. And of course, I have very many female friends who are doing things amazingly in their own sphere. But today, I want to, dwell a bit on what I meant, or what I mean rather, by saying learning never stops. Part 1. Learning indeed never stops. And if you are familiar with the quote that says, the day you stop learning, you start dying. So everybody tries to be engaged in one learning activity or the other, or in an environment that promotes the learning to help them in what they do. So here is what today's episode is all about. Sometimes in 2019, I was privileged to be called upon to develop content for a government agency, their training unit. It's a government agency that deals with training human resource. So yours sincerely was called upon by somebody who works, and I was able to get 2 other people on board with myself. And since that 2019, we've been developing, content, training content. You write a paper, they'll give you the topic, then you meet in a session, it will be critiqued, seriously critiqued, and passed as okay. Then it's moved into their second level, which they use for their training. So since 2019, yours sincerely has been pledged to do it. But this week something profound happened, which is what I want to share. And the people who are in the critique session are drawn from the academia, the private sector, those of us who are private practitioners, and some of their in-house staff who have also been trained to do such. And yesterday was in the midst of 9 other critics, and there is a professor of human resource amongst us, and she's a woman. And this professor has been in the university system, one of the foremost universities in Nigeria, and she had at some point been a deputy vice chancellor. She's very sound. She's very sound. I don't have permission to mention her name, so I'm not going to mention her name, but I've discussed it with a lot of my friends, and they will tell you that woman is sound, and she is indeed very sound, but humble. But you can see, knowledge exhuming from her. So even her own paper, she'll tell you, you almost will not see anything to critique in her paper. But so here something happened on Tuesday this week. We're in a critique session, and we are critiquing somebody's paper, and the person wrote a word. And what is that word? EXPANTIATE. Most of us, most people call it expatiate. And immediately we got there, I just told her there is no such word as expatiate. She was like, what? Are you serious? I said yes, and we were sitting opposite each other on a table that we are doing the critique session. And I told her there's no word. And I told her that's why the computer on that called it red. She said yes. I said, what's the correct? I said there's no N. Yes, it's a derivative of the word expand, expansion, expansive, but there is no N, and there is no N. It's not even called expatiate, it is called expatiates. Immediately I said I was connected on the system, and she of course checked her sister, her phone, and she went on Google. She said, "Wow, that's correct." She now she now said, "Dr. Emma, do you know you are correct?" I said, "Yes, ma'am, I know." She now said, "How come I didn't know this all this while?" Mind you, she has been a professor of human resource. And she said, "No, that I've added this to my body of learning." I was humbled. Despite that she is a professor, she has a lot she has known and learned. She was still able to say, "Oh, wow, how I didn't know this." My respect for her increased, because there are some people you cannot even correct them when you're not even professors. That's one too. They are not even professors, you can't correct them. They are not in the academia, you can't correct them. What is making them to have that arrogance is because they seem to have some tangible physical resources: car, money, house, they wear good clothes, but their heads are empty, absolutely empty. And it's just a matter of time. Late Maya Angelou said, "The more I learn, the more I discover that I have to learn." So, who are you? What are you? Learning never stops. Learning never stops. Some people will even give you a body language as if they want to learn, so that it will seem as if they want to accommodate what you are saying. But when you leave, they do entirely the opposite. They do entirely the opposite. And that is why some people have not amounted to much in some of the things they are doing. So you may be watching this video. I'd like to encourage you to activate your learning cap. It gives you the opportunity to know more and also be willing to share with other people. I have a lot of friends in the academia, a lot of them, and I ask them a lot of questions because I want to increase my body of knowledge. So, wherever you are today, celebrating the International Women's Day coming up on Monday, 8th of March 2021, please give opportunity to the woman to learn. Give opportunity to them to lead, because we have discovered that a lot of women have the capacity to lead, and that is why the theme of this year's International Women's Day says achieving an equal future in a COVID world for the woman in leadership. I also want this opportunity to celebrate our quintessential and enigma Dr. Mrs. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. She resumed this week at the World Trade Organization as the DG, first woman, first African, of course, a Nigerian. So give women the opportunity to learn. They can also lead. They are humans, and they also have the capacity to train and direct people. So if you have opportunity to learn from a woman, don't despise it. Please go ahead and learn. It's going to help you to a large extent. And may I prompt you, next Saturday, 13th, by the grace of God, yours sincerely, I will be speaking at the Young African Women's Conference on Financial Management. And it's also used to celebrate International Women's Day. So you can see that I told you I love women. And it is to also learn from them, because they have a lot to teach too. They have a lot to teach. And I have learned tremendously from my wife, from my daughter, from my mother, from my sister, from my body of friends who are females. They are intelligent. They are intelligent. As you stop by this video, drop your comments. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Drop a comment, like it, click the notification so that when next I share videos on YouTube, you'll get them. Wishing you a restful weekend and have a lovely time out there. God bless you.